suppose a little bit of a relief maybe, having been in a difficult run of games to get that win and the clean sheet as well. That must have been a positive thing for you.
Yeah, it was an important win. Wasn't the most stylish of performances, but the outcome was more important than the performance. We felt on New Year's Day we'd had a run of 6 games in the league without winning. We felt it was important to kick off the new year with 3 points. We managed to do that. Fought our way through the game, competed really well, defended the box terrifically. So we've now got to build on that and build on that positive result to continue throughout this month.
When it's a new year, do you sometimes use that as maybe a reset, as to say, this is what's happened in the first half of the season, we've done well, we're in a good position, but this second half of the season, we now have to focus on this and all the games coming up?
Yeah, it's just building blocks, taking one game at a time. As I said, we had a bit of a stumbling block for a number of games without a win. That win on Monday hopefully gives us the confidence to string a few results together to keep us in with contention in around that top 7 of the table.
And Lee Bell was very complimentary of the attitude and effort levels of the players after the game on Monday. Just how big of a difference does that make? Because it sounds obvious that players at any club will put in 100% effort in training and in matches, but I suppose that's something really that doesn't always happen, and that's a big benefit for you, having all those players doing that.
Yeah, the players have been terrific. We've been short in terms of squad depth over the last 3-4 weeks. We've been asking the players to go above and beyond without any rest in between. We had 4 games in 10 days with the same group of players to choose from and work with because of the injuries and the illnesses that we picked up in this period of time, which happens at all football clubs. So the demands of the players are tougher for them, but we couldn't have asked for any more from them. They're a terrific group. They want to learn, they want to improve, and they got the rewards on Monday in the game against Bradford by getting 3 points.
Just on those injuries, do you have an update on injuries and the injury situation?
Yeah, so Charlie Colquette is back training this week with a view to be in contention to be involved a week on Saturday. Joel Taberner is waiting on an update from a scan result when we had a setback a couple of weeks ago. So he's waiting for a CT scan within the next day or 2. If we get a positive result back from that, Joel will start to integrate back into training with a view to hopefully he'll be available from the 20th against Barrow. Mattis, he's back out on the grass now. He's back out running. So we're viewing and aiming Mattis to be back by the 20th. Zach Williams is going for a scan today to find out the extent of his injury that he picked up in the Newport game. So until we get the results back from that, we're unsure the length of his injury in terms of time. Hopefully it's only going to be a matter of weeks as opposed to the injury that he picked up last time away at Harrogate. Jack Powell's obviously out for the season. Charlie Finney's still recovering from his operation, so he's a little bit further down the line, and that's about it on the injury front, I think.
We've spoken about it many times before, but I suppose that's going to be a big boost when you do start to get some of those players back, because it's not like you've had 1 or 2 missing, there's been quite a few missing, so it's going to give you a lot more options as well.
Yeah, it'll be a massive plus, a real big bonus when the likes of Tabs is back, Mattis is back, hopefully Zach Williams is not too long, we'll get him back. Just gives us a little bit more strength and depth, gives us a little bit more options. We had that at the start of the season when we were doing well and performing well. The performances were good because we had the options to change in game if we saw something different that needed to happen, fresh legs to come on. We've not really had that over the recent weeks. In terms of some of the games, there's been full of all scholars, which sometimes you're asking a little bit too much of them too early. We think that they'll be good players, but at the moment you don't want to put too much pressure on them. So yeah, it will be a massive boost and a massive bonus when we can get full quota of players available.
You've got Mansfield coming up away from home. That's just what are you expecting from that game? It's a difficult game, isn't it? Because they're a side towards the top end of the table and they have a lot of experience as well. So what sort of challenges are you expecting from that?
Yes, it's going to be very difficult. I think they're probably the best team in the league. They've got some terrific players. They've got goals in all areas of the pitch. They've got really good experience. And it doesn't surprise me where they sit in the table. So we know we're in for a tough game, a difficult game. So we're going to have to be at it. We're going to be after our best to get a result out of the game. We're in training this week, working hard to put a plan together in terms of where we can try and expose certain weaknesses in their team to try and get a positive result come Saturday.
And just on the January transfer window, we've entered January now. We spoke to Lee Bell and he gave us a few updates after the game about targets that might be ones that you're looking at. Do you have any latest updates on business?
We were hoping we had one through the door and would have been done by yesterday. That's not quite happened yet. Something from their end with his parent club, which is something that we're working with all day yesterday. We'll be doing the same today to try and get that ironed out and get that over the line. The gaffer spoke to a couple more agents yesterday to try and get a couple more players through the door. Then negotiations were positive yesterday, but until that paperwork gets signed, nothing's 100%. Hopefully by Saturday, before Saturday, we'll have an addition to the group, and hopefully by mid next week we might have a couple more that follows that.
How important is it to have those targets and try your best to get those targets in early into the window as well, not just with your injury situation, but also it gives you time to prepare, and if there are any changes to the situations, you have time to adapt to that and you're not sort of scrambling around towards the end of the window. Is that important?
Yeah, the recruitment team work hard, not just in this month. They've been working hard behind the scenes for the past 2 or 3 months to try and find targets that fit the group, but it's got to be not just a target, the right target in terms of the right character, the right personality, the right traits that they can bring to the group that's going to improve us, rather than just bringing in a number. So that's been going on behind the scenes for a number of weeks. So obviously, if you don't get target number 1, it just gives you time to try and then go for target number 2. But it just gives you a little bit more depth, it just gives you a little bit more options, and it also gives you a couple of fresh faces to hopefully kick on and give you a little bit of extra strength going into the second half of the season.